We hiked across an entire country in one day. And we're going to tell you all about it. It was so much fun. And you know what? It was something a lot of other people have done. So stay tuned. Where are we?
Where are we?
Where are we? What country was that?
We are in Aruba, in this
Jamaica.
Beautiful country, enjoying the sun and the beach and the waves and snorkeling and hiking.
Right. So wait, well, who are we first?
We are.
Yeah.
Oh, we are Chris and Steve. EatWalkLearn. We left Denver, Colorado 3 years ago with nothing but our 2 carry-on bags. And we had been traveling the world for 3 years.
Yeah.
And this month we're in Aruba and we're doing what we love best.
Right. And some of the things we share often on our channel are the things that nobody else does, or the off the beaten path, or the hack way to do it, or the secret way to do it, or something like that. And that's definitely this video. Because when we decided that we were going to walk across Aruba, we Googled it and nobody has done this. We like walk across Aruba and Google was like, what? Do what? So anyway, in this video, we're going to show you how we did it, where we did it, all the logistics, all the distances, the elevation gain, everything, all of it. So just stay tuned. And even if you're not a hiker, it's actually kind of a fun story. So stay tuned, enjoy our little experience with how we had a good time in Aruba. So the first question is Aruba even a country?
I think the first question is why, but is Aruba a country?
Yeah.
Of course it's a country.
Well,
the people here are delightful and there's a flag and everything, I think.
Yeah, well, okay. So Aruba is technically, so the way it's described is it's a constituent country of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Okay? And so Curacao is also a constituent country of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Okay. But Bonaire, because everybody says the ABC Islands, Bonaire is a municipality of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. So anyway, so we had to ask our friend Rob over at 10 Degrees Warmer, who is an expert in country counting, because this is really important. Is it a country or is it not a country? So we rang Rob up. And you can watch one. I'll link his video here. He has a 3-part series on whether or not a country is a country. So we called him up. And he was pretty good, wasn't he?
He's very good. And he answered our question the way we wanted him to answer our question, which is yes, it's a country.
Yes, it's a country. And the way he qualified it is he says, if you were to go to Aruba and do you feel like you're in the Netherlands? Like, are there tulips everywhere? And are there Dutch people everywhere? And are there clogs everywhere? He says, no. I mean, there are windmills. And like when you think of Holland or you think of the Netherlands, that's what you think of, right?
Riding bikes and canals. And this
is not that. So because it's such a unique experience, Aruba is, you get to count it as a country. And it's important because my Countries Been app, so I use this app called Countries Been. I'll put a little link up to it. It counts Aruba as a country. So I think I'm like 72 now. 71 or 72, something. I hit the 70s. Yeah, I hit the 70s. Anyway, so yes, Aruba's a country, and therefore we walked across a country. Woo-hoo. So we're gonna we're gonna do a little quiz. Right? So I didn't even know, if you watched our video a couple months ago, we're trying to decide where we're gonna go, and spontaneously said we're gonna go to Aruba. So we ended up in Aruba. I didn't even really know where Aruba was. Did you?
Well, yeah, I wasn't really quite sure where it was, and also just didn't know anything about it. I assumed it was like a tropical, mountainous,
jungly,
maybe
like
we're,
other places.
We're giving away the answer to the quiz.
Yeah. So quiz. We're gonna do a quiz.
Quiz time.
Quiz. Okay. Well, first of all, Aruba is the southern. It's the most. I don't know if it's the most southern. It's the most southernest islands of the Caribbean and most eastern or western islands of the Caribbean. Is it the most southwest island? We'll look at a map and tell you. Anyway, it's down by Venezuela. It's like not over off of Miami. It's down by Venezuela.
On a clear day, you can see Venezuela from here.
Yeah. All right. So, quiz.
Russia.
What? It's not Russia. What is the ecosystem? What kind of plants and things are on the island of Aruba? Is it A? What did I say? Is it lush and jungly? Or is it B, mountainous, like mountainous or C, volcanic? Like mountainous, usually that goes together. Like Hawaii is volcano and mountains and lush.
Yeah.
Right?
Could be.
Is it marsh, like swampy and lowlands and wet and buggy? Like I don't know, what would that be?
Florida.
Florida's not an island, but maybe it is. Maybe people. Anyway, moving on for that. Or is it desert? So we were surprised. So cashew boat, A B C D E. It's desert. It's cactus and lizards and we didn't see any tumbleweeds.
Really dry.
Really dry.
Dry, sandy, arid. You don't see necessarily a lot of cactus when you're in the city where we're staying, but on our hike, there were beautiful cactus.
And divvy trees. So these are the local tree, and there's always a wind. It's very windy here in Aruba, and the wind's always blowing towards the south. So the trees naturally grow from the wind swept, and so the trees point to the south. So if you're ever lost in Aruba, just look at the trees and see how they're pointed, and they're pointing to the south. So anyway, all right. So how did we get this idea? So we have some friends that were here visiting us, Latricia and Brian, fabulous friends. They were actually nomads. They're actually nomads who met us through our YouTube channel, and they invited us to their house a year ago. And so now they're nomads, and so we invited them to our house for a visit. So that was really a lot of fun. All of our friends were sitting around, and we're like, what can we do? And we're like, let's climb to the highest point in Aruba. And so we go to Hooeyberg Mountain, and we climb to the top, and we didn't, it wasn't very high.
It wasn't very high, but it's a pretty strenuous climb up because it's just stair, get to the top. At the top, there were goats at the top, and you got a great view, and you can see all the way around the island. You can see water. So we get to the top of the mountain, beautiful views. You can see both coasts, and
east to the west,
and we're like, what is that like over there? Because you couldn't see any kind of population centers.
Yeah, so we went up to 600. It was 600 steps up. It's kind of like a mini Manitou incline. If all of our friends in Colorado Springs know that. And we get to the top, and we're petting the goats. Well, we're not petting the goats. We're taking pictures of the goats. And all of us are like, well, it's not very far across, and there's kind of like desert up there and space. I wonder if there's trails. Could we actually walk across the country? So we go down the steps. We're like, we're going to figure this out. So that night, we pull up all the maps. We're in Google. We're trying to look at trails. We're looking at all trails. We're looking at the topographic maps. We're doing all the resources, and we figure out that we can start on the east coast and walk to the west coast along basically the wide part of the island, which is by the crow flies is 6 miles. And so we thought, okay, now we're thinking of the logistics and so on. Does the bus go here and there? And it doesn't. And so we figured we have to get a cab. And so we have to pick something on the East Coast where cabs can get to that will allow us to go through the high desert and on the trail system, and then walk across the trails and get into town and then walk the roads into the cruise terminal. We want to go from east to west and end up at the cruise terminal where the I Love Aruba sign is. Bushiri. So we figured out a taxi could take us to the ruins, the Bushiri ruins, and we thought we'll start there and work our way west. So we got up. The taxi picked us up at 7 o'clock, which we pre-called the taxi the night before. But they took us to the Bushiri ruins and started there. So what are the ruins? What are those? What's that all about?
Well, the ruins was an old gold processing plant.
A smelting plant.
A smelting plant. And it was built in 1872 and operated for about 25 years. And since then, it's just kind of, fallen in disarray. And then you can see there's, some of the walls that are still existing, and it's right on the coast. It's really an interesting place to just kind of walk around and
what do they mine for?
Check out. Oh, gold.
Yeah, they're mining for gold.
They're mining for gold. When you think about 1872, the gold rush all around the world was happening, and everybody is looking for gold. And
the Dutch came and found some gold. Okay.
Right.
Anyway, so that was a really neat side of the island because that was the windward side of the island, and the big sweeping wind and the waves crashing. It was like your favorite part of the trail, actually.
Yeah, definitely my favorite part of the whole day and the whole hike was the beginning of it and doing the ruins and walking right out to the coast and actually, dipping your feet into the water almost because there's a lot of waves and a lot of crashing.
It's really rough
against the rocks, and the wind was blowing, and it's really a completely different environment than over on the other side of the coast was where we were staying and where the cruises come in.
So after checking out the ruins, then we actually took off on the hike. So I'm going to post up a picture of the hike. In the description, so first of all, subscribe if you would, because we're giving you some really good information. And what we need you to do is go into the description. In the description is a link to the interactive map for this hike. So if you actually want to do the hike yourself, go to this interactive map. Make sure, if you can find a paper map, you probably want to bring that with you too, just as a safety issue. Also in the description, if you guys want to buy us a coffee or use any of the links in there that are affiliate links for booking your reservations or whatever, we'd appreciate that. It helps fund all of our equipment that we use for YouTube and so on. Anyway, so in the description is the link for the interactive map. So we started at the ruins. We kind of went around the back of the ruins and picked up a trail. And that trail took us north for a little while through it looks like maybe where the ponds were for where they dumped all of the cyanide and all of the kind of nasty stuff from the ruins. We're not sure. Maybe it looked that way, but we're not geological experts. So anyway, there's a few ponds. We went walking through there, and there's some mountain bike trails that kind of go through there. And then we picked up the Shoko, Shoko trail. I think it's Shoko. Shoko trail. Anyway, we picked up the trail and we learned that the Shoko is the name of a local owl. And we walked that for maybe, 2 miles or so, maybe 3K, 4K, something like that. It walked around through the foothills and kind of up over the hills and through the desert and the cactus and all the beautiful desert ecosystem. And then we jumped onto the Cerro Crystal Trail, which took us another 1K or so. And then we started coming into residences, right? We came across that one house. Yeah. And then took a little break. About halfway, we ended up in this really cute park called the Parque Corazon, which I think is Papamiento for Heart Park, and had a little snack in the park.
Yeah, it was a nice park. So the local communities on the island are really interesting. And I always am interested by, the different architecture and the different style of the homes. And it was nice to be able to walk through some of the neighborhoods and really see, how people are living, how the day-to-day people live here.
Yeah, we stopped by this one guy. He had this one tree. I don't remember the name, like I want to say mariachi tree, but that's a Maricopa tree. And it was this fruit that looked like, I thought it was a papaya or something. And he says, no. We dry them, and then we take seeds, we put them inside, and we use them as, what are those shaky things called? Mariachis, no.
No, no. What are those called?
All right, obviously, you all tell us what those shaky things are called. Anyway, they made musical instruments out of them. So that was really cool. So we talked to that guy. And then there were a lot of dogs everywhere. So, they're all nice dogs, but they don't want us to think that they're nice dogs. So they're as we walk through the neighborhoods. But then, we walked maybe 2 or 3 more K just through the neighborhoods and down the local streets and felt safe the whole way. Didn't worry about, getting run over. Everybody's really polite with pedestrians. The cars yield for you and let you cross the street, which is nice. And then we ended up at the I Love Aruba sign and finished our hike. So it was just, it was 7 miles total by the time we weaved in and out and in and out and in and out, not exactly a straight line, and took us right under 3 hours. And the total elevation gain was 283 feet. So a relatively flat, there were some ups and downs, but real easy hike, fun, interesting. I totally recommend it. How about you?
Yeah, and one of the things is we got lucky in that there was a little bit of an overcast that particular day, so it was a little bit cooler. We didn't have the sun beating down on us while we were hiking, and we started at 7 o'clock in the morning. We were done by 10:30, so it was easy to do as a nice morning activity, and you too can walk across
the country. So if you have any questions, put them down below. Have a good time. If you do it, post it on our Facebook group. We would love to see any pictures from any of our followers in our Facebook group, our Nomad Life Facebook group, of things you're doing, especially the things that we recommend, which this is one of those that we absolutely recommend. Hike across Aruba. See you next week.